Hello everyone! Welcome back. This is Dragon Videos, ready to put on a personal thoughts on the recent Netflix show that I had just watched recently. And that is Kid Cosmic. For some of you who may not know, Kid Cosmic, it focuses on the misadventures of a young boy who discovers 5 mysterious stones, each one given to a personal member of the team. Kid tries to learn how to do their powers. Even though it becomes very rocky and a little difficult to understand at first, the group of them become the most unlikeliest, if not the most lovable heroes of all time. So for this video, I'm going to focus on my personal thoughts on each of the characters in Kid Cosmic. Be warned, there will be spoilers in this. Kid is definitely one of those enjoyable characters. He definitely comes off as your typical 8-9-year-old kid who loves comic books. And he is set up in a way where he isn't totally annoying a lot of times. Like, there are some moments where he is annoying, but not up to the point where you can't stand to see him every time he walks into a room. And plus, he's not as incompetent as we think he is. The only reason why he may get reckless or pull off bad decisions at times is because of the fact that Chuck gets under his skin, which I will talk about later. The kid is just trying to prove himself, as well as, to some credit, he's more capable of being a hero more than we give him credit for. I mean, he understands what it means to be a hero. It's just, for him, he has a hard time understanding it, how to put it in a way where it's very mature on his part. Again, he's an 8-year-old kid. He's just trying to get a hang of things. But give him some credit for at least recognizing when something is wrong, as well as paying attention to the situation at hand, even if it means risking his own life to do so.
You're just gonna mess up. You're lost, little big guy. Hold on.
One of the best moments that I feel like Kid has done is in the last episode where he uses his telekinesis to save everyone. Even gave off one of the best speeches that a kid his age could pull off. So kudos to the writer to make Kid so grown up, but at the same time more capable of being a hero.
Mayor sounds cool. It's not real. Real heroes don't just go around looking cool and beating up people.
Aliens?
Just because they're different and they don't understand that. Being a hero isn't about forming a fist. It's about extending a hand. Heroes help, not hurt.
So I feel like in some ways Kid and Steven are pretty similar. I mean, true, Steven's more selfless than Kid is, but they both understand the struggle of what it means to be a hero as well as being a leader. They still had to try to figure out what to do with their powers and how to save the day. While with Kid, it was a bit more difficult because he lost both of his parents while Steven had his dad. In a lot of ways, I feel like Kid deserves some love. Though some of his decisions can be reckless at times and he can have a tendency of being a little controlling, he definitely recognizes his own faults and tries to take responsibility for it. As well, he has a better understanding of what it means to be a hero, helping others out. Papa G is just one of those characters you can't help but love. I mean, in terms of elderly person, the kind you'd want to hang out with, he'd be the kind of guy you'd want to be with. He's practically the heart of the group, always inviting, willing to give people a chance to hear them out, as well as seeing the best in people. He was even accepting of Chuck, despite the fact that he was an alien invader who tried to bop him on the head. But don't be fooled, when something serious happens, he definitely is not afraid to speak his mind and lay down the law whenever possible. Just watch what he does with Men in Black.
It is, but I thank the stars above he hasn't fallen into your grimy hands. I don't know where the team is, but I'm pleased as punch to hear they've escaped. And whatever amazing plan they've got cooked up, I hope it roasts your buns till they're nice and toasty.
Papa G really does care for Kid and sort of is like a father figure to him. He tries his best to help Kid through some of the tougher times, especially after losing his parents after that horrible traffic accident. And in some ways, Papa G definitely helps remind others that it's always important to be compassionate to others, no matter who they are and what space they come from. Who's to say dogs are only a man's best friend? I mean, there's actually cats involved as well, or more specifically, a sightseeing cat. Tuna Sandwich is a somewhat bizarre name. He definitely is a very reliable character, thanks to his cognitive vision, which I feel like is very specific because cats are very intuitive creatures. He tries to help out whenever possible, and is always there for Kid whenever Kid needs him the most. And it's also because of their backstory, it was pretty interesting. Also, I was quite surprised that we actually had a talking cat in this show.
We're running out of time, and if we don't... Wait, is that me? Hot damn!
I would like to see of how Tuna's voice talking abilities will do well with the precognitive stuff that he'll have in season 2, which I hope we get to see later. But I feel like he also is an important asset of the team because he provides the insight that is needed whenever the situation gets high, and as well as keep Kid out of trouble. Personally, Joe definitely gets rid of a stereotype of what most people think of teenagers being reckless, loud, though she definitely is a little bit groany when it comes to her work. But she really does have a great heart for Kid and everyone else who is part of a team. She's very modest about her powers, and at first didn't believe Kid when he said he had some cosmic rings of power. And in some ways, she does show that she has capability of being a leader. Whenever situations get bad or Kid can't think something up, Joe helps them out on the fly and comes up with great ideas whenever the situation calls for it. In a lot of ways, I do enjoy the big sister, little brother deal that these two have, and hope to explore more of it. Because Joe definitely is someone that Kid needs, someone who can listen to him and be the voice of reason without putting down some of his ideas, or call him a comic relief. This chappy 4-year-old is practically the muscle of the group. And it is quite exciting that there's more Latino characters in this community. Anyway, with Rosa, she definitely shows that she is tough to speak her mind. Though she's a 4-year-old and still has a long way to go in terms of her character growth, she definitely started out with an interesting character arc of always being a very destructive 4-year-old who doesn't pay attention to her surroundings or the consequences that came with it. It wasn't until when kids spoke up that she kind of got upset about it. But thankfully, over time, she starts to become a little bit more attentive with the surrounding area and the situation that she's in. This attentiveness just shows of how much Rosa has grown as a character. And plus, sometimes little kids are more perceptive of things than most adults are. And of course, to Rosa's credit, it definitely shows that she's becoming a bit more mature than we are giving her credit for. At least to recognize that this is a situation that is just flat out bad and something that shouldn't be taken lightly. For the majority of the series, Chuck came off as your stereotypical bad guy. Though he was crippled and stuck with the name Stuck Chuck, he definitely was an interesting character to say the least. He is very smart, but yet at the same time he is a cynical Eeyore, a wet blanket. Whenever a kid or his crew are doing something, he would always say negative coming out of his mouth. But despite all that, he still is a tactical genius. He's not afraid to try to use his kid's psyche against him, as well as just trying to figure out concepts that may be put into place. Watch how he handles Kid.
Story. Oh, all your heroes have them. Exploded planet, lost love, dead uncle. Or maybe a car accident on Route 70. You like that bad guy, only without the talent, brain, strength, money, or success.
Oh, but don't worry, he got some serious karma after this.
I don't want to be stuck, Chuck, anymore. Thank you, merciful.
After all that, he finally has a chance to redeem himself, even though it was only just 3 episodes left. He definitely showed of how much of a redemption he had, and worth having, which I will talk about in a future video. Anyway, when he definitely shows that even though he's a capable villain, he is also a very capable hero. He definitely has the smarts that can help Kid and the others get through some very dangerous situations, especially when they spend their time in space in Season 2. Oh, fun! I get to talk about these guys. They're basically the ripoff of the Power Rangers, Captain Planet, and whatever superhero you'd have to put into play. These clowns were basically hired government soldiers who just want to take things on without question. Basically, all of these shenanigans were caused by the Man in Black. He's practically their boss at this point, or as some people have been putting it, he's basically a director for a bunch of actors. This isn't even some sort of heroic business here. This feels like a sad sideshow. I mean, there was a reason why I put a bit of a theme song in the first place. This is garbage. We need to get through this if we want to go through One Piece. So stop the theme song before it goes any further. As you can see, they are very terrible heroes because they're not very observant. They never even bothered to notice of how their powers were similar to that of the aliens that tried to take them down. This sort of behavior definitely showed of how much Kid and the local heroes made better people in terms of the hero department. If there was ever a class for these guys, I'd give them an flat out F. Oh boy, this guy is gonna be a piece of work to talk about. There is just so many reasons to hate him. I mean, just so much to hate him at this point. As I've said before, this guy is a piece of work. He's supposed to be an under-government agency guy who was in charge of researching and going after aliens to defend the Earth. In the beginning of the series, there wasn't much to talk about him. There was even not much to go on about him. He was just sitting there chilling out with his coffee all the time, barely uttering a word. He didn't get the least suspicious until Cosmic and the Big Win, when all those alien dogs appeared the F out of nowhere. Apparently, we soon find out that he was the one who was responsible for having those alien dogs nearly kill him and kill Kid and his friends. And here's the worst part.
Guinea pigs. We used you to test the storms, to see what they did, to see how dangerous they were. Somehow you all survived.
Excuse.
Where the kid is, but I thank the stars above he hasn't fallen into your grimy hands. I don't know where the team is, but I'm pleased that
Me. Excuse me.
Kid, I've been tracking alien activity since before you were born. And it doesn't matter what galaxy or planet they come from. Oh, they all think they're so smart. Their superior intellects and advanced technology. Ha! Earth's been disrespected, laughed at, treated like the whips of the Milky Way. Well, no more!
That's not how it works, you dummy! This isn't about Earth. This is clearly about you. Every decision you've made in this series is beyond reckless. If you were applied in real life, you would have lost your job right now, and I would have loved to see that. Okay, let me try to back up this information a little bit more. So, you see, with military personnel, in a real-life context, they would usually try to make sure that something that's supposedly dangerous is away from civilians, as well as making sure that they would not unleash those powers that could threaten the world. And plus, they would probably want to make sure that the enemy is friendly before doing anything drastic. If anyone acted out of line of this, they would probably go straight to jail, as well as lose their job automatically. I'm not military personnel, but I'm pretty sure that's what would happen if this guy was in a real-life context. I can't help but think of him as a Kent Mansley villain. For some of you who don't know, Kent Mansley was a character from Iron Giant who was also a government specialist who was not above using his government power to threaten people around him. And that's what the Man Black did the majority of the time. Used his military powers to threaten others, including the aliens. So people, these are my thoughts about Kid Cosmic and these characters. The majority of them I enjoyed a lot, and I hope so that have gone for you as well. If feel free to submit your comments. Also do a like, subscribe, as well as feel free to ask for any thoughts of other characters that you may want me to review. This is Dragon Videos signing off.